Did Pangea exist? Pangea is the idea that all of Earth's continents began as one giant landmass, and over 13.7 billion years, it is separated into what we know now. Many Christians don't accept this idea because it's bunched together with theories of creation such as the Big Bang and with the idea of evolution. What information can we get from the Bible on Pangea? First, let's look at Genesis 1:9. God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered to one place, and let dry ground appear." And it was so. This verse certainly supports the idea of one large mass of land surrounded by a single large body of water. While an almost 14 billion year timeline doesn't line up with biblical history, it's reasonable to think other events, like a worldwide flood, could easily have caused continental drift to begin. We've read how God split seas and opened up the earth to swallow wicked men, so he certainly could have split the land, and most likely for a good reason. Second, let's look at Genesis 2:8. The Lord God planted a garden in the east, in Eden, and there he put the man he had formed. In verse 14, it details that Eden sat between or in the area of the Tigris and the Euphrates rivers. Historians have said Eden would be found in modern-day Iraq, Iran, and Turkey. If we look at a map of Pangea, we see that these countries are located on the far eastern side, as it was mentioned in Genesis 2:8. From a biblical standpoint, Pangea is a very realistic idea. Could it be the original intent before the fall of man was for us all to live together and have no borders to separate us? Isn't this what we imagine heaven to be like? Is it possible God brought the flood to not only wipe out the wicked, but in his infinite knowledge knew men needed to be separated, and he began the process of continental drift? Genesis 11 talks about the Tower of Babel and how God scattered people across the earth because large groups of men began to believe they no longer needed God. So what's the point to all of this? Who really cares? For so long, science and the Bible were divided, but God created all the earth and the sky. So everything we study in science was made by him. It makes sense that the more we know him, the more we can appreciate the science of his creation. At the end of the day, all these details only matter because God deserves the credit for the immensity of his creation. The rest of the details, the rest of the debate, is merely entertainment or wonder that shouldn't distract us from our purpose of loving people and leading them to Jesus. The Bible is our standard of truth, so we can run all of our theories, ideas, and thoughts through it and determine what is from God, our Creator.